Yeah, I just got a call on the phone. It's cut me off again. It's like 3 files I have to compile now. I mean, I suppose you could sort of like look into, you know, the formation of a sperm or something, you know. Never looked into it myself, but, you know, just the thought of, you know, how is it formed exactly? You know, and I said a couple of months ago, you know, the whole thing about, you know, everything being an illusion. And I said that if it's true, that would include sight as well. Sight is an illusion. You know, a skull doesn't have eyeballs. You know, so for a skeleton to actually exist, as an entity, simply as a skeleton, then the illusion, the actual environment itself would have to be different as well. And through Flat Earth British, we've seen that. We've had different environments. We've had 3 suns. I think I saw a picture with 4 suns at one point over the last 5 years. Sure of it. But I've definitely, more than one occasion, I've seen, like through Martin Leedker, you know, pictures where there's been 3 suns and 2 suns. You know, a time in the world. And then through the destruction or extinguishing of said suns, and then resets, which may have happened at the same time, maybe not. The environment completely changed. So I don't know. In the past, when there were 4 suns, or perhaps when there were 3 suns, you know, the skeleton, maybe we all did just walk around as skeletons, or float around, or gravitate around. You know, I mean, you know, when you go with the whole evolution thing in space and gravitational pulls, etc. And they talk, you know, like the gravitational pull of the moon, or the gravitational pull of the sun. And then, you know, because of that, we're kind of like stuck to the ground and we can't fly, etc, etc, etc. What would happen if you had like 4 huge bodies with their own gravitational fields? You know, would you need muscles? You know, would you need muscles to walk? Would you be able to walk in a world that had 3 suns? Or would you only be able to float? I mean, you know, the whole law of physics that pertain to the current state that we live in simply wouldn't exist. If the setup was different. And clearly, Flat Earth British, the setup was different in the past. And the setups were different in the past. So, don't see a problem with that. But, you know, the life force being in the marrow don't know anything about it, guys, but there's something there. I just don't know, or I can't remember. So many things have come up in my mind, you know, but I haven't processed them. So yeah, things like catacombs, like the other week when I sang that, like when you go to a graveyard where people are actually buried and not cremated, you know, so their bones are there, you know, just to spend some time. Oh shit. Oh, he's opening up the premises. Okay, fair enough. Oh, that's why I'm here doing tank cleans. It's half term, isn't it? That guy said it was half term. What does it say? Marrow in the bones, life in the bone. And fuck it. Was it Wednesday Martin did a vlog? Was it Wednesday? This week? Last week? He showed a picture. Fucking hell, I'm getting cold. Are my bones getting cold, or is it just the flesh that's getting cold? Anyway, Martin put on did a vlog. Come on, don't lose it. Oh yeah, and he showed he must have been the fucking 1600s or something, or 1700s. Maybe it's, yeah. It was a depiction of a skeleton, and it had borders at the sides with like pictures of other things, some symbols, sigils or something. Can't quite remember, colour, a drawing. But the thing about this skeleton is it was only partially a skeleton. When it come to like the abdomen area, you couldn't see straight all the way through as you would imagine a skeleton. And you know, there was a lot of detail in the picture, you know, there's a lot of detail in the picture, and it would seem that, you know, the person that was drawing it was trying to draw it as he saw, you know, but this thing seemed to have partial flesh, so it could well be that in the past, you know, in a reset before, when there were more suns or whatever, and the environment was different, that when people's umbilical cord had been severed, James Brockhurst, anyway, severed, and then the marrow or the skeleton then is generating the physical body. I don't know if I should be parking here, I might not be able to get out. Really not sure. I'm gonna have to be careful. So it could well be that, you know, in those times that the physical body looked very different as it does today in the environment that we're in now, i.e. maybe, you know, less muscles, less flesh, There's a thing called microevolution. Even creationists accept microevolution. Which is, if I can remember, it's not the same as macroevolution, where you can change from one species to another. But microevolution, a singular species can evolve in small amounts should its environment change. It can evolve to a new environment by its physiology changing. You know, some creatures can do it straight away, some just takes a while, apparently, so they say. So I can see that mechanism working in life anyway. So I can't see why the mechanism cannot be reversed if the environment today demands that we must have this physical form in this way. You know, that skeleton has evolved to its environment once it come out of the womb and got disconnected from the umbilical cord. And apart from that one image that Martin showed, throughout the years when he was going into, was it dEAD, VanaVlog? I can't even remember, it's so long ago now. From Gallica. There were plenty of descriptions, depictions of skeletons. You know, they always associated it, or no, I preconceived that they always associated it with death. But you know what it could be when it comes to like a reset, and suddenly these skeletons that were quite happily, well, I don't say happily, that were, you know, could go about their business in that world after that reset, they were then immobile. You know, because the medium in which, you know, for some reason their skeletons couldn't generate fast enough flesh to, or whatever, you know. I think that there's possibly that aspect of it. I mean, you know, I'm just chucking shit out because, you know, I've just fucking got no idea. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. You know, just watching people walk by, and I'm like, you got it, Lee. You got it. I mean, I don't know why Martin put that picture up in the first place. You know, why did he do that? I mean, it's a curious image just within itself. You know, a spinal column and a skull and a picture of a sperm. I mean, what made him do that? Maybe it's just an interesting image. You know, when I do like my picture vlogs, I sift through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images. You're not going to lock that gate, are you? No? It's not locking it. Why are you not locking it? The kite, right? There's like a green gate for a car park with a metal bolt thing that goes across. You put a padlock on. It's open. It's unlocked, and the guy's simply just got to put the padlock back on. It took him about 40 seconds. I mean, you just need to. I mean, you know, the padlock's open. You just need to close it. That's all you need to do. It took him 40 seconds to do that. Just watching, it's totally distracted me. Yeah, I don't know why he put that picture up. Oh, curiosity, perhaps. And I do the same. Yeah, I go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images. It's fucking painful doing a picture vlog, honestly. But 60% of all the images that I go through when I'm going to do a picture vlog. That's a weird walk. 60% of them I could use. Just bung them in, put them together, knock out a vlog, you know. And I think everybody will be, you know, pleasantly sort of surprised and happy with that, as long as the music's all right. But I don't do that. I go through them. First off, I'm looking for things you've never seen before. 2, the image has to provoke a response in you. And 3, the image has to be self-explanatory and validate everything that we say on Flat Earth British. You know, they're kind of like the criterias I go through when I'm looking through those hundreds of images. It's probably thousands actually. I don't know why, what, you know, when Martin, because Martin does it as well. Every time he does a vlog, I'm going to try and upload his stuff to my channel again. Because YouTube just will not let me fucking monetize my channel. They just will not fucking have it. It's because it says Flat Earth British sub on it, that's why. They don't want it. So they just won't fucking have it. So I've just give up now. So I'm just going to go back to how it was before. Until this channel gets banned again. Anyway, I digress, as they say. I don't know why he put that image up. But, you know, that's how it works, Flat Earth British. You know, it's always been that Martin just fucking triggers me. He's fucking just fucking lost for words. He's as epic. As I said before. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he put that image up. You know? Amazing. And then, you know, when you think of old people, very old people, like in an old people's home or a nursing home, and you look at them, they look more like skeletons than they do humans. Why is that? You know, I look of the barrier between the physical world and my hand. And I'm like, you know, this isn't dispersed within the atmosphere of the cab of this van. It's not dispersed, it's kind of like contained in this volume of liquid, you know. And I'm like, well, where's the containment field? Where's the barrier? What is the actual barrier between physical reality and the physical reality of this body, this flesh? Where's the, you know, where is it? And through the years, you know, we've looked into, you know, like on an atomic level, you know, Wise Up has said, like, there's no such thing as a physical form on an atomic level. Don't quote me on that, I might be misquoting Wise Up. Martin has said it a few occasions, a couple of years ago. John Levi has said it as well. Other people probably said it, but I don't remember them saying it. You know, is there a barrier or is there not a barrier? You know? And then when I think about old people, and I'm like, you know, what's happening with the barrier there? Or is there not a barrier there? Because when I look at old people, I mean, I don't like saying old people because I don't believe in the concept of time. But I just got to use words that we know, you know? I fucking hate it. But when I look at old people, to me, it looks like someone's shoved like one of them in their body and just fucking sucked out fucking water and liquid and fucking plasma. I don't even know, you know. But it looks like they've been like, they look like prunes, like water's been come out of them. And then here I am, and I'm like, well, this is water, the environment's water, so then why does it not, where's the equilibrium? Why isn't there a perfect balance continuously? How comes old people seem to, you know, do you know what I mean? And of course, for me, the answer is that it's the skeleton that's generating the flesh. And because that's the predominant thing, eventually it overrules the facade. Eventually it just overrules it. It's just sort of like, no, look, I'm a fucking skeleton, right? I'm not flesh and blood. Fuck off, you know? Secondly, I mean, you know, I'm going with that for the moment, but alternatively, you know, it's the physical environment itself, which is the facade, the flesh. It's that, because we know water can be programmed and it has memory. Is it that? I mean, is it that the... Oh, hold on a sec. I'm just waiting for my colleague. It'll probably be about half an hour. I'm alright parked here, yeah? I can park here, it's okay? Cheers, mate. You know, if the moon was a, you know, what they say it is, I'd like someone to put a skeleton on the moon, see what happens. You know, I was talking about the graveyard thing a couple of weeks ago. Let's go to a graveyard where they're not cremated, just buried, and just go up to them. Hour and a half or something like that. Nice day. Just sit there and just say, excuse me, you're not dead. Excuse me, you're not actually dead. But kind of like on reflection of that now, I'm thinking, well, would they hear me? Or if I chattered my teeth, yeah, if I chattered my teeth, the vibrations reverberate to the skeletons of the dead, and they'd realise. But then, you know, can they regenerate a facade? I've said time and time again, and I'll never fucking stop, I don't think, faith and belief, you know, it's an important mechanism of death in this place. I spent so many years in working in hospitals, watching people going to die, watching people going to get vaccinated with poisonous viruses, people on their deathbed, dead people, people that are alive, you know, their hearts are still pumping, but they don't move, really. They're just dead. They're alive, but there's just nothing there at all. And I watch everyday people and their lives and things that bother them, things that they think are important. And there's two kind of like main things that I notice. One, they're terrorised. They utterly live completely in fear. It's a foundation of their motivations in life. And number two, if I see somebody else walking by, it might remind me. And the second thing is faith and belief. From an early age, they're bombarded with no evidence of something, and then taught to pursue that thing or things that don't exist. That's faith and belief. Yeah. I mean, because if something did exist, you wouldn't need faith and belief, because it exists. But if it doesn't exist, then you need faith and belief. I know we use those words in religious terms, but I mean it from a secular point of view, just with things. Like, if you work hard enough, in life you'll be rich, or you know, whatever. There's so many of them. But I mean, I say faith or belief. I mean, it's like the same thing, you know. Just say faith then. Just faith and terrorism. That's everybody walking around. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it on their faces. I can see it in the way they behave, and I can hear and see it on all of the media platforms that people view as much as they possibly can. And I'm convinced that, you know, the whole thing about people getting old, the physical, you know, they're all like shrinking and dehydrating. I just know it's to do with faith and belief, because every day of their life is being pushed about time and their age. They're getting old. They've reached this age. They should be in a relationship. They're this age. They should have children. They're this age. They should be grandparents. They're this age. They should be thinking about saving their money, dying, so they can pass on their wealth to their children, whatever, you know. It's all faith and belief, and all society is based on terrorism and faith and belief, and that's why the world is so fucking ugly. But it's as if that faith and belief, this whole concept of time, you're getting old, etc., etc., somehow is reverberating with the skeletons or the marrow in the bone or something. It's programming the skeleton to disengage. I don't know exactly. As I said, I haven't really given this any thought. I'm just telling you that things just come and go when I think about skeletons. Might get an hour's vlog out of this one. Another thing, when it comes to like clay flood, right? There was a Martin Leaker vlog recently, and he was just going through some book from the 1700s or something like that, and their words was clay flood, not mud flood. I haven't looked into it, but I made a point of remembering it because it's their words from a different reset, you know. Why am I telling you that? Anyway, you know, I've also said in the past that, you know, trying to interpret the illusion of life and what's going on, and why is it so fucking mean and horrible, etc. So sorry, I just keep getting distracted. Because I'm just pulling things out, you know, that are floating around. I'm not really thinking about these things constructively to put them into, you know, like a platform, or to make a presentation on a particular subject. I haven't, you know, that's not what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but I don't know words to explain what I'm doing. did the faith and belief thing, did the terrorism thing. But, you know, I suppose there's the whole thing about animal skeletons as well. But, you know, every time that's come into my mind, I just like, fuck it off. You know, because that's like a whole different subject. No, it's like, it's an undertow. I just can't do it. You know, I can't even do the human skeleton thing at the moment. Research that. So, you know, the whole thing about animal skeletons as well and what's going on there, I'm like, I can't go there. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I need to go with this first. I need to knock this out into Flat Earth British and associated channels and see what happens. You know, whether it's going to be validated or discarded. It's just bollocks, you know. So I can't move on from this until you guys validate it or not, you know. So I can't go with the whole animal skeleton things, or, you know, that's how it is. Oh yeah, okay. I'll step away from that for a minute. So I don't have to. I can't fucking remember. Was it Saturday? I did a vlog which I deleted. I can't remember everything I said in it. Of it's to do with the last VanaVlog I did, and I said. It's gone again. Fuck it. Right, yes. So, as I said, I died in February this year. I had a heart attack, and I've recently got an inkling that I died of a broken heart. That's what happened. It was such a trauma. My heart was so broken, I fucking died. I know where. I know the spot. In Plymouth. And I mean, I've already said this, I had no experience. I mean, I felt a pain, like a cutting off of my left side, or I was disengaged for. I've got no point of reference. I mean, it just happened. So, you know. But that was it, and I felt fucking weird, to say the least, for the rest of that day. And in the evening, I completely broke down in front of the wife, sobbing and saying, you know, stuff. And then over 2 or 3 days, I began to notice things, you know. I'm like, what the fuck? The fuck is going on here? Things look normal, but everything's not, you know. I mean, I told you about that in the VanaVlog before, probably in February, I suppose. And then it's kind of like the only way I can describe it is that it's like, even before I died, I'm still in the same fish tank, and I'm a fish, but there's like different levels and density of water within these levels, within this fish tank. Some are dense, some are lighter, depending. But there's holes within each level, and as a fish I can go in and out of these different levels in the fish tank of life. And that's what happened to me. I know I say the word death, but what's happened is I simply went to a different level. So that was quite a few weeks ago. I kind of realised that's kind of like what's happened. But then more recently, I got this feeling that I exist on different levels within this fish tank simultaneously anyway, and I actually phase in and out between each level, each me on each level. I phased into a different level, and that's very real for me. Insofar as an illusion goes, it's very real for me, as I'm interpreting everything that's going on. It's just fucking weird, to say the least. But even more recently, moment by moment, I say hour by hour, or every 4 or 5 hours, I just become aware of that whole thing, and that I'm actually kind of like phasing with myself in different realities, all contained within this same place. And the thing is that when I've like phased over to another level, and all the people are the same people, but it's like they're of a different phase, and I'm not quite gelling with them. You know, they're not quite the same. And on top of that, as I observe people, when I'm talking about fucking hell, man. The way that they live and what motivates them, terrorism and faith. I can also see, because I've noticed it in myself, that they are phasing as well. They are phasing through faith and belief, because every day is in their fucking face, telling them, showing them, you must believe this, you have to do that for this to happen. If you don't do that, this won't happen. If you do blah, 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 blah. But I can see them phasing. It's like, what happened to me, I had no choice over. I guess it was inevitable that I would die of a broken heart. And I phased over to where I am now. And now I notice that during the day I'm phasing, because I don't belong here, but because I've got the skills from that other place that don't exist here, and I've kind of like brought them with me into this one, which isn't me exactly. I'm kind of, I'm causing other people around me to phase. I mean, I might be causing them to phase to where I'm phased, or I'm phasing them. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just telling you my experience at the moment. And I noticed over the last couple of weeks that Martin has phased as well. Just by the words that he uses as describing things. And I'm like, there's no fucking way you would be thinking and doing the stuff that you're talking about. You wouldn't recognise the things that you've just come out with unless you phased over. So I'm kind of happy that Martin's here now. You know, I'm kind of happy about that. The faith and the terrorism that I observe in humanity today, I think, is causing them to phase against their will. And so they're not having complete dominion over their existence, because they can't focus, if you want. They can't focus, like be sovereign and just do what they want to do, to be unhindered and to be free and to just be, because they're constantly being phased out, you know, by faith and terrorism, always looking for a better reality, always looking for better circumstances, always looking for everything that's been robbed from them by faith and terrorism. I think that's what's going on. And the more I think about my relationships with people and my interactions with them on, you know, on a one-to-one basis, you know, when I listen to their conversation, how they jump from one subject to another, but they're phasing in and out, you know, they're kind of like phasing in and out. And I do recognise within myself that even right now talking to you, I have other realities going on. I'm in my mind, in my head, you know, I can, like, I've got different realities of me, kind of, in there, but I'm here, you know, but they're there. Fucking hell, man. I mean, no one's ever talked about stuff like this, guys. I swear to fuck, I'd be really surprised. I mean, when I say nobody, I mean, like, you know, people that honestly seek the truth. I'm not talking about the elites and their privileged education and, you know, where they're just told everything from the get-go. I'm talking about us who, you know, haven't a fucking hope, who are just so controlled and manipulated to the point that it should be completely impossible to find out the truth that the elites know. That's what I mean. I don't believe I'd be very surprised if anybody else could come out with anything that we've done on Flat Earth British, you know. Oh, no, it doesn't come by privileged information. You know, just okay. I'll put it this way then. You know, I'd go so far as to say that, you know, outside of the elite circles, you're never gonna hear this stuff. You know. and it'll be kept secret as well with the elites. I'm sorry, people do not walk properly. Just watch people walking. It doesn't look natural. Okay, so I'm looking at people from a perspective that they're skeletons encased in flesh and stuff, and I watch them walking and I'm like, don't look right. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, in the past, I'm just, I've said like how bodies are prisons, and my basis for that is that of all the miseries and nastiness of this existence, it all depends on us being in a physical form body in the way that it is. So you can be starved, you can be made thirsty, you can be suffocated, you could be made cold, you can be made hot. It's like everything, because you've got a physical human body, you can be completely manipulated. So for me, the human body is a cell, a prison. It's always been like that. And so I see the physical body as a parasite. A parasite. Anyway, so obviously, if this thing is true that I'm talking about with the phasing and everything, then that completely just gets rid of time. Concept, it's just another thing that just goes against the whole concept of time. I mean, what bugs me, because I haven't looked into it, oh, come on. No, fuck's sake. You have to understand, every time I go to bed, every time I go to sleep, something happens. My only description of it is that information is taken away from me, and like doors are closed and locked, things are removed, other stuff is put in. Blocking mechanisms are put in as well. So then when I wake up, I don't have to go and do whatever I've got to do. I can't collate stuff. I can't put things together as I know that I should be able to. I mean, I observe myself and I'm like, what the fuck is stopping me from connecting all of the dots? I mean, it's simple. I should be able to work it out. I'm not stupid. And yet, there's just like an empty fucking room with nothing in it. And I'm like, nothing. And then all I'm left with is just a question as to, why can't I work this out? How am I losing this? And I kind of concluded that it's got to be that. It's got to be that. There's no reason why I can't work stuff out. There's no reason. if I'm just me, Lee, on Earth, and you know I've been educated, and you know I should be able to work stuff out, and yet I can't because I keep coming up against these blocks, and I mean, especially in the evenings, you know, when I'm not distracted by daily activities and I'm just kind of sitting around, loads of stuff come into my head that validates everything that I do on Flat Earth British. And I, you know, and at the time I think, like, oh, please don't forget this, please don't forget that, and within seconds it's gone. It doesn't come back. Like, for example, sink and sink. So you've got sink as in like a basin, like where you wash. And you've got sink as in something that sinks down, like baptism, sink. And then you've got sync as in synchronization. But it was the sinking, as in like a boat sinking, and synchronization, sync. It was those two things together. And the possibility of us that we're down in a well, like we sink down. But then they use the word synchronize, or sync, you know, sync your app, sync your phone. And there was something with that. I mean, I remember that right now. What the fuck that was all about? It made perfect sense the other day when it came into my mind. Today, I ain't got a fucking clue. Apart from the fact that, well, it's interesting that they choose to use phonetically sounding words, but just spell it different, you know. But beyond that, they got a fucking clue. It's just gone. So yeah, and since, you know, I'm in this place with this new body, it is like fucking 10 years older, you know. It feels like 10 years older. As for my wife, that's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, I'd say I probably looked about 6 or 7 years older. You know, my physical strength and everything's fucking gone for a Burton, mate. I tell you, I've got half my energy. That's why. But yeah, I'd say 5 or 6 years older. I'd say. But the wife, definitely 10 years older. You would not believe. I've seen 4 people now walking strange. Someone once said to me, walking is the art of stopping yourself from falling over. Let's do some skellies, yeah? Like Pirates of the Caribbean, Skeleton Crew, Boney M, Skull Island, Lovely Bones, tomorrow. You've got the Egyptian mummy films with skeletons running around. But you know, when you watch like movies with skeletons, like The Mummy or something like that, I mean, don't you kind of get a sense that they're in some kind of a bubble to be able to physically move around like everybody else in those movies that have flesh and blood? You don't kind of get that feeling. And it is such a very strange concept, you know, this whole thing of skeletons being able to move around and stuff. What a strange concept. Think about ice skating, rollerblading. Oh fuck, he's here, bollocks. Or ballet. If you think about the environment, please don't ring me. If you think about the environment that they're doing those things in, they're unnatural. Like a ballerina, their toes are fucked. Ice skating, they're on the medium of ice, completely abnormal. Yeah, and yet the most beautiful elegance of apparent humanity and what they can do could be like ballet or ice skating, figure ice skating, whatever they call it. Why is that? Because they're breaking the rules, the everyday rules of movement. They're breaking it. If you're a ballerina, you have to break the law of physics. If you're an ice skater, you've got to break the law of physics. What it really comes down to is, you know, you are synchronizing. I nearly said synchronizing. You're come on. You're specifying a part of the body, i.e. the skeleton. You know, it's all about the skeleton with those kind of practices. So you can see, you know, if you watch Tallville and Dean for 10 minutes, and then you sat in a high street or a mall and watch people walking around for 10 minutes, you're going to notice a difference. And if you've got the perception I have, you will realise that people walking around or jogging or whatever they're doing are they're struggling. It's not normal. It's not natural the way that they're moving. It's not. And it's only environmental changes that humanity can make themselves look beautiful, etc, etc, etc. It's the fucking skeleton guys. You know, where's my colleague guy? Try and find him. Where'd he go? Why didn't he come in here then? Where'd he go? Maybe he was hungry. I don't know what to do. I don't think swimming would be a good swimming would be a bad example, because when people walk and run, they're swimming, or they're moving for a medium of water, and so swimming is a heavier medium of water. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. I could be wrong on that one, but you know what I mean. I'm just trying to demonstrate my perspective, as it keeps fucking changing, as I keep phasing. Maybe that's what I'm doing, guys. You know, I don't know what the fuck it is I'm doing that is working for Flat Earth British. I don't know what it is, but it could be that I'm just phasing with different means, and I'm just kind of like taking information. I mean, I was doing that before in the other place, so maybe I was phasing then. I don't even know. I've got no thing else going to park over there then. Why hasn't he rang me? I'm sure that was him. It was definitely him. Why didn't he ring? It's because I'm doing a VanaVlog and this is really important. Important. What makes it important? Well, I've imported something. Therefore it's important because it's cargo. It's goods. So if it's important, it's good. Where's it gone? This is one way. No, it's not one way. My gosh, the roads are terrible in fucking Wimbledon, England. I think I could turn around here. Oh, we fucked off to go and park somewhere else because I've got all of the creep. Oh, still stopped. Bastard. Anyway, I'll just tell you what I've concluded at the moment and then work backwards from that. So, like, what's in my mind at the moment? With the point of view that everything is... no, just say it and work backwards. Just say it and work backwards. Do it like that. Can I do it like that? Does that work? No, just fucking say it, Lee. Just fucking say it. However it comes out, it fucking comes out. Just fucking say it, mate. What's always been a mystery to me is the whole thing about life and the physical world. The animation of life, like my point of reference is, like, when my grandfather died, I went to go and see his body in the morgue, and it was him, but there was no life. It was just completely, just wasn't moving, nothing. And you know, there's something I've seen that, you know, you could have two people, one's moving and one's just lying on the floor, dead, just, you know, not going to move again. And when I see, you know, when you see the one lying on the floor, I mean, for me personally, it seems obvious that something's missing. You know, something's missing. And I've got like a religious background, so I've kind of got all that junk in my head. So I would say it was like a spirit. Spirit is missing, the force of life is missing, it's not there, kind of thing. But you know, that's my indoctrination. Because obviously, you know, if you're an atheist, you can't accept the whole thing of a life force or something like that. You know, it comes from a god, etc., etc. Anyway, get into all that. But I'm not saying one thing or the other on that. It's just been my observations, that's all. It's the time 8:03. Sorry I'm taking so long, guys, sorry. I've always been curious as to how exactly does the force of life, or, you know, a spiritual thing, how does it connect with the physical body? You know, what's the adhesive, and, you know, things like that. And so I kind of got that as a point of reference in my mind. It's been there for years now, an unanswered question. But I think it's this: we're actually skeletons. That's what we are. You know? I mean, in the illusion, of course, of life, we're actually skeletons. And everything else is not us. Or the skeleton is generating it. Your skeleton, from when you were a sperm to then birth. You know, once that umbilical cord's cut, it's then your skeleton, or even perhaps the marrow in your bone, where perhaps real life exists. You know, the thing that animates us in this illusion might actually be in the marrow, because I can't think of any reason why you'd have marrow. I mean, somebody commented the other day that part of the central nervous system goes through the bone, through the marrow, and then back out of the bone into the flesh and sinews. And but like I said, I haven't like looked up any pictures on the subject. I mean, you know, even like a sperm. I mean, if a sperm is a little mini skeleton, and then it's got that kind of, if you want, like physical membrane around it. I don't even know what you would call that, but you know, the thing that enables it to navigate through liquid. You know, is that generated from, because she hasn't met the egg yet, is it generated from the marrow within the skeleton of the sperm? And really nothing's changed. I mean, once you're born, or once, you know, once you've kind of like infused with the egg or whatever, I haven't looked into that either. All I know is what I was taught at school, so I know as much as you do, and I'm not going to be talking about that, am I? But then once the umbilical cord's cut, then perhaps, you know, the skeleton or, you know, the marrow takes over and programs, you know, the physical body. I kind of get this feeling of, I like the word emanation. So you've got an object and it's emanating something of itself outwards, creating like a bubble. And I kind of see at the moment that the human body as an emanation coming from the skeleton. That's where I'm at the moment. And a couple of little things have come up, particularly about vibration. And how it resonates with bones. Of course, you've got the whole electricity thing. What did Martin call it? Piezoelectricity. You've got the catacombs. Well, just think of everything that we know so far over the last 5 years. And kind of like put it all together. And what kind of a picture does that create? What kind of I mean, I'm just lost for words. I don't know, we've got physiotherapist, and what's the other thing? With the bones? No. Bones? Fuck it, can't remember. But there isn't a great interest in bones at all. And with that in mind, you know, this is what I've been doing recently. The last couple of days, I would say, as you know, I like to view people walking around down the streets, like in London, you know, just different people, different speeds, they're walking, and just I like to watch them, just to see the wood for the trees, because in my experience, I'm in the middle of it, and I don't really have a good perspective on things because I'm stuck in the middle of it. Then if I'm observing others that are outside of my experience, I mean, they're not outside of my experience. I mean, they're having their own experience. I'm not having their experience. So I'm like, well, you know, I think that's kind of, I can have a perspective of myself mirrored by other people because we look generally the same, you know. So now I'm kind of looking at everybody as skeletons walking around that are generating a bubble of flesh around them. I mean, when does something sound crazy? Is it when you've never heard it before? But the more you think about it, the more things begin to make sense. You know, things, I mean, if you're a seeker, like trying to find out what life's really all about, what's really going on, you're going to, I just lost my train of thought. So I'm just chucking this out there. You know, I do not have the time or the strength to, you know, really research all this. But, you know, just casual, if I just casually allow my thoughts to meander around that whole concept, things just pop up that make sense straight away, that were a mystery to me before. And that's without, you know, without researching it or anything. And so, you know, maybe I can leave it to Martin, leave it to anyone else, you know, to kind of spill it all out, you know, and by association to other things in life, to validate it as being a thing or not a thing, you know. So that's one of the reasons, you know, I'm doing this vlog, because I thought, well, there's definitely something now. I'm not going to be able to do it. I mean, it's hard enough just catching up with Martin's vlogs at the moment. Should I be going in and starting to work or what? I don't know. Oh, sorry, I missed a bit, didn't I? Yeah. And then you've got the whole concept of if everything in life is actually an illusion, including our physical selves, including the physical world, then of what manner are we? Manner of what? You know, what are we? You know, if we're nothing of this illusion that pertains to being life, then what out of the illusion could we possibly actually be? And although this doesn't answer the question, I can see that there's a clue in this, you know, in the you know, the physical body is a facade, in a sense, of the skeleton. And day to day, as you walk around meeting people, interacting with people, all you see is their facial. You don't see their skeleton. You don't see the very, I was going to say the very heart of them, but you know, the skeleton goes even deeper. You could even say it's the core, or you could say the marrow of the skeleton is the core of a human being. So you don't really see the human being, or you don't really see the person as you should see them, if you could even see them at all. I mean, I've obviously thought, as things are now, currently in this illusion, one sun, one moon, a water-based existence, a skeleton simply couldn't function at all. He wouldn't be able to see anything, wouldn't be able to do anything, hasn't got any muscles, got nothing. But you know, for me, the whole thing about matter in life, it's the same stuff as the facade that covers my skeleton. It's the same stuff. And it pertains to this world. It doesn't really pertain to my skeleton. I know it sounds crazy. So that, you know, that concept is similar for me as to the question, what are we outside of this enslavement, this illusion that enslaves us? It's similar, because what we are is hidden from this place. It's hidden what we really are. We're given a false identity. And when you think about the physical body in a skeleton, it's completely encased and hidden. You can't see it. And nobody regards themselves, apart from me now, as a skeleton. Who thinks that? Nobody thinks that. Oh, shit. Flat of British, subscriber channel, Lee speaking. Hi. Someone's just glaring at me as they're walking past. A bit weird. Well, no explanations for this VanaVlog. I mean, like, you know, the last couple of months I've done VanaVlogs, and then I'm kind of like having to kind of explain where the hell I'm coming from. But that's because I lost my old channel. Well, I didn't. And Martin very kindly reminded everybody a few vlogs ago about that I'd lost my channel, and I got some more subscribers, so thanks, Martin. Thanks guys for joining. So I'll just get straight to it then, because there's just no point me explaining stuff that I've already explained recently. So, skeletons. There's something about it. I don't know What I'm about to say will sound very strange. What's going on now? Come on, doing a vlog. People don't turn up, so I have to start working. Please. Skeletons. You know, when you think about yourself, you think about your skin colour, you think about your hair colour, your height, your weight, the size of your penis. Please don't come over here. Your culture, your indoctrination level. Oh, it's a window cleaner, okay. What family, friends and enemies think about you. You judge yourself all on these things. But I think it's quite deliberate. We're not taught to think of ourselves in terms of a skeletal being. I mean, be honest. It's not on the TV. It's not at school. Might have some cartoons on it, but not really kind of like defining people as being a skeleton, you know? So I haven't researched this. I've just got like an inkling. I'm not even sure what the inkling is, but you know, I've a little bit deliberately haven't looked up anything on this, and part of me, I just feel like shit. I can't be bothered. Lying. It's a shadow. I'm just going to go with it. Like, I just go with it like everything else with Flat Earth British since I joined, and hasn't failed me thus far, or Martin. And as Martin said on was it Wednesday, I've only seen 15 minutes of the Flat Earth Day vlog. But you know, Martin was saying about, you know, Flat Earth British, we just don't give a fuck, you know. We got like, I can't remember his exact words, but it was something like, you know, we've got a diploma in don't give a fuckness, which is true. We don't give a fuck, you know. We know what we're doing. And our methods are uncouth, and there is nothing like Flat Earth British and the Flat Earth British community and what we do. Just doesn't, there's just nothing like it at all, apart from the name Flat Earth. But I mean, what's that? It's like 10% of everything we do. So yeah, you know, we just don't give a fuck. And I don't give a fuck. I mean, I do, but not to the point that it's going to stop me from doing what I do. Right, for example, now I'm going to say it: skeletons. And what sparked it all off for me, I can't go through Martin's blogs over the last 2 weeks to find it. I mean, if somebody could send me the image, that would be great. I mean, I could probably search on the internet and find the fucking image myself, you know. But it was a picture. It was something like a... No, it was... I'm not entirely sure now. But I think it was a of two pictures. One was a skull and a spinal column only, and the other one was a sperm. And it looked like the same thing. And I'm like, well, I already know we're fish. Anyway, mankind are fish. We breathe water. So I already knew that. So, you know, the image itself kind of made sense to me. But it's the first time I've ever seen that what would you call that? What do they call those things? Picture, a mirror, no. A collage. I've never seen a collage like that. Just no point of reference at all, but it just made sense. I'm like, you know, and I'm like, well, fucking hell, you know, the skeleton of a person is very underrated. I mean, nobody talks about it, you know. And I was thinking about the marrow. No, I still haven't looked it up. You know, I don't know if there's marrow in my finger bones. You know, is it just like in your arm bones and leg bones? I mean, have you got marrow in your foot bones? I've got no idea. But I was wondering, well, why would you have, as it were, flesh in the centre of the bone? I mean, if the bone is just like a support system. Turn the engine off. Hope you don't stop the video.